Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend he should move out of my house? I 28 female bought my house 5 years ago. I got an inheritance from my great aunt who passed away and has no children. I was also saving for a home at the time and was able to buy a house with 20% down and pay off all my student loans. So I'm very grateful to her for that. I bought a very small house on a big lot, which was pretty affordable back in the day, so everyone wanted a big house and didn't care as much about the backyard space. My boyfriend 31 male and I moved in together a year ago. And he pays rent to me, but it's much lower than he would pay if he rented elsewhere. He began complaining about how I ran my house like that I hang up my laundry outside on clotheslines, and also because I tore out the grass in my front yard to make a wildflower garden and clover lawn. I don't know why he has opinions about what the lawn is made of, but he complains it looks ghetto. It's not even obstructing his hobbies. He doesn't even hang out outside. The big arguments came recently from me getting chickens. My city has a backyard chicken program where they grant permits for people to have backyard chickens. I got my permit after applying for 3 years straight and began looking to get chickens. I spent last summer building a co-op. My boyfriend knows how to use tools, but refused to help, saying it will make the house look like a barnyard. So I did it myself, and now he is complaining he moved in with me to live in a house, not a farm. He claims the chickens will be disgusting, but our neighbor got the permit last year and has chickens, but there is no weird smells or sounds coming from them. Last night, actually got the for heritage breed chickens I was looking for and told him, and he yelled at me for not listening to him. I was sick of this and told him to move out since he can't stand to live in a house with chickens in the backyard, and he got all quiet and proceeded to ignore me today. I'm starting to think he wants to move out but doesn't want to deal with the high rent elsewhere. He is always telling me because he pays rent he should get a say. Am I the a-hole for telling him to move out because he won't let me do as I want on my own property? My house is finally looking like the house of my dreams, and I put work in every weekend to do it all myself. I feel like he is now intruding on my paradise and being super critical of everything has me wanting him to leave. Am I the a-hole for missing my brother's gender reveal? I don't think I'm an a, but would like some input. I 31 female have a brother 23 male who is going to have his first baby. My family, meaning my mom, dad, sisters, my husband and myself, are all happy for him. We met up at my mom's house early September for Dad's birthday, and he and his girlfriend were mentioning the upcoming gender reveal in October. I told him a specific date in October that I had already an event to go to. A friend of mine is celebrating her birthday by bar hopping downtown in a party bus. We are all going to share the cost since it was quite expensive. He assured me that it was going to be on a Sunday. Time skipped to yesterday. He sent off the invitation to the gender reveal via our entire family's WhatsApp group chat, and it was the exact day of the party. I responded by asking why was it on Saturday, and that I had a previous commitment that I had RSVP to. His response was, I guess a party bus is more important than a gender reveal. I reminded him that we had already talked about it. My aunt chimed in reminding us that it is her and another cousin's birthday. He said that he will not change the date because some of his girlfriend's relatives are coming from other states. Will I be in a hole if I miss his gender reveal? AITA for correcting my daughter's camp counselor. I 35 male have a daughter 7 female who has recently been attending an animal-themed summer camp during the day. She's obsessed with animals, so honestly, it seemed like a great fit. I usually drop her off in the morning and pick her up in the afternoon, so I am familiar with her camp counselor. Group leader 30s. Male seemed like a chill guy and my kid seems to like him. Though today, when I picked her up, he asked if he could pull us aside to chat. When I asked what this was about, he said that my daughter was very disrespectful to him today, and that he couldn't have her attitude again. When I asked him what happened, he said that they were discussing sea creatures today, and he referred to octopus as a fish, which my daughter corrected him as they are mollusks. He tried to tell her that she was wrong, but she politely corrected him again, his own words. I told him that if she just corrected him politely, then I didn't really understand the problem, but I would speak to her. He then explained that octopus were fish, and that my daughter shouldn't be spreading information she doesn't understand. I told him that my daughter was correct. Octopus are mollusks. Even pulled up a bunch of links from Google to show him. His response was to get angry and tell me that he sees or my daughter gets the attitude from, and that she was wrong for correcting him, and that I was wrong for backing her up and usurping his authority. I explained that correcting someone isn't usurping authority. Being corrected is sometimes just a learning experience, one that I've experienced often, and that I wasn't going to reprimand my daughter for trying to politely correct him. He told me that I didn't understand how difficult his job was, and that sometimes he just needed a parent's support, regardless of their beliefs, and stormed off. My daughter asked if she was in trouble and I said no, of course, but I am questioning as to whether I should send her back to this camp given the behavior of her counselor. That being said, I wondered if I should have just told my daughter that sometimes it's best to let things go, even if people are wrong. Edit. Daughter's counselor claims that octopus are fish, they are not. My daughter corrects him in that they are mollusks. He asks me to tell her not to correct him even if he is wrong. I tell him not unless she is being impolite. Incorrect. He gets angry and storms off. I am not reprimanding my daughter. Edit 1. Thank you all for the responses. I did not send my daughter to camp today and have reached out to the head counselor to ask for a meeting. Will update after out discussion. Edit 2. I have an update. Just waiting for this to fall off the main page to give said update. Thank you all for the kind words and encouragement. Am I the a-hole for hating a puppy? I'ma preface this with I hate dogs. Can't stand them. I think they are gross. I avoid them. I do anything I can to not have them in my life. I have a 6-month-old son. Best kid in the entire world. We are at the neighborhood park, not a dog park, and all dogs are supposed to stay leashed, and my son, my wife and I are having a picnic. It's going great. Davey is on a big blanket and having the time of his life, rolling around, playing, giggling. It's a blast seeing him so happy. We are semi-near a walking path. Next thing I know, there is a pair of puppies coming right at us. They are unleashed, and their owner is just standing on the walking path looking at them running toward us. I didn't notice them until they were pretty much on our blanket. At that point I picked up my son and yelled WTF to the guy. He looked appalled that I didn't enjoy the stunt his dogs and him pulled. My wife is yelling at him. I'm yelling at him. I straight up say, I hate your dogs, can you get them? His puppies are just sitting on our blanket expecting to get petted. I start walking toward the guy and am yelling at him to get his dogs. He starts getting mad at us. He says they are friendly and just wanted to play. They aren't going to hurt anyone. I tell him he just ruined our lunch. He excuses his and the dog's behavior by saying they are puppies. I don't care, I just want him and his dogs gone. I'm just cussing at him continuously. He's telling me to calm down, but I'm hot. I continue cussing and he finally grabs his two dogs and is like, who doesn't like puppies? He finally leaves but ruined our lunch. In hindsight, I may have been too aggressive with him. Am I the a-hole for mixing food and offending partner's family? I, 23, female Chinese Australian, have been dating Andrew, 26, male, half Vietnamese half Australian, for years and regularly stay at his place on the weekend. He lives at home with his parents and older sister Haley, 30, female. Not too long ago, Haley suggested that since I stay over often, I should start paying them for groceries and bills, though I'm still a student so they aren't too strict with the amount. I transfer them $50 to $100 here and there to cover my share. His family treats me very well, and I respect them. I have been really happy in my relationship, so what happened today was quite shocking to me. Andrew's mother, Louise, 60, female, is Vietnamese and cooks amazing food regularly. I love her cooking. Today she had cooked a delicious pork rib and taro soup, and I ate some for lunch. At dinner, Andrew was going to make some instant noodles, so I asked him to make me a pack of Shin Ramen Korean spicy noodles. When it was done, I decided I wanted some of the pork rib in my noodle and mix some of the soup in my bowl. Louise hastily stopped me, saying that no, I should not mix the soup with my ramen. I was confused. Andrew came over and said the pork rib soup should be eaten alone and not mixed with my spicy noodles, since the flavors are different. I argued that Koreans also eat spicy rib soup, so it shouldn't be too weird. And since I've had the rib soup by itself for lunch, I wanted to try a different flavor. However, Louise insisted that the way I mix food is wrong, and Andrew said I should just eat my spicy noodles and maybe come back for a bowl of soup later. The argument got quite heated as I didn't understand why mixing food is such a crime. This had happened a few times before. When I added different condiments or mixed stir-fry with noodles, Louise pointed out that my eating habits are strange, but she never said more than that. Then I got overwhelmed and ran to Andrew's room and started crying. Haley barged in and began yelling at me. She's normally kind to me, but she does have a bit of a temper. Why are you throwing a tantrum in someone else's house? We are feeding you food, and you're so ungrateful. I was really upset because I think I did nothing wrong. So in the heat of the moment I stood up and screamed back, I paid for the food. Why should you care how I eat? I'm not forcing you to eat what I eat. If I go to a restaurant and pay for a plate of food, you think they'd kick me out for eating the food wrong? How ridiculous. In the end, I was so angry I packed my bags and stormed out of their house. After Haley got so mad she said, I'm no longer welcome at their house, and now I'm on the way home and crying, wondering what I did wrong. It really doesn't make sense. I tried to put myself in their shoes and say if Andrew wanted to eat Chinese dumplings with tomato sauce, my Chinese family and I would not care at all. We just laugh it off due to personal tastes. So am I the a-hole for mixing food, having different food preferences and upsetting my partner's family?